So let's jump right into your tarot and see what's going on here. See if you are still on this person's mind. We have the Nine of Voices in reverse, Nine of Swords energy. It's pretty heavy energy to start the reading with. Two of Materials in reverse came out in the last reading, I think in number 2. Same thing, and I think it was in reverse as well, so might be worth checking out that reading. Could provide more clarity. We'll kind of see what happens here. The Ace of Emotions in reverse. 2 more. The Emperor. And Justice. Okay. Let me move these cards up a little bit, and I'm going to look and see what we've got going on the bottom of the deck for you. So let's see. Bottom of the deck energy, we have Awakening, which is the Judgment card in traditional tarot. We have the Muse of Materials, the King of Materials. And we have the Four of Voices. Okay, there are some repeating themes. I feel like that Four of Voices came out in one of the other readings. Honestly, I would say is this person thinking of you? Not if they can help it. That's how I would put it. Not if they can help it. They try not to think about you, is kind of what I'm seeing here. When they think about you, there's an incredible amount of stress that comes along with any thoughts having to do with this connection. So I do get the feeling that this person tries not to think about you very often, because we're opening this up with this Nine of Voices energy, and it's like, this is the energy of really restless, sleepless nights, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of worry. And it just feels like that's too much for this person. I'm also noticing that with this Ace of Emotion coming out in reverse, also the Two of Materials, but I want to focus on the Ace of Emotion just for a second. I feel like this person's emotions when it comes to this connection are repressed. They're turned off. The Ace is in reverse. They've turned off their emotions as much as they can when it comes to this connection. They feel almost powerless in this, and they feel like they want to get their power back with this Emperor here. They want to be in that Emperor energy. So I'm having the feeling that something happened in this connection that they just felt like they couldn't handle it. They couldn't juggle it. Maybe there's like, if there was a lot of stress and tension and arguing and disagreements or something, it's like that got the best of them. And I am feeling like this is someone who might have a lot of responsibilities. They have a lot of pressure on them. They have a lot of weight on their shoulders. And with this Two of Materials in reverse, I'm kind of reading it two different ways, but at the same time, I feel like for a lot of you, both might be true. It feels like they weren't able to juggle it all in this connection when the two of you were in communication. Like they weren't able to juggle it all. And then also like any thoughts of you kind of throw them back into this place of feeling like they can't deal with their day-to-day. Like they can't take care of their responsibilities and feel all of this emotion at the same time. It's too much for them. It's overwhelming for them. And it's honestly a feeling that it's like they're not familiar with this feeling. They are familiar with this very powerful, they're familiar with being in charge. They're familiar with calling the shots. They're familiar with having it their way. this Emperor energy really giving me like a lot of Aries vibes. This person might be an Aries. They could be a Leo or a Sagittarius. I guess I get more Leo from this than Sagittarius, but they really might be a fire sign or have strong fire placements. But it just feels like this person is so used to having things go the way that they want them to go. So used to having things go in a way that they feel that they can control. And something happened here that made them feel like they couldn't control the situation. So even thinking about you kind of throws them back into this place. I think especially if this person felt overwhelmed to the point that they couldn't like think straight, like maybe they weren't sleeping and they were underperforming at work, or they can't focus when they're in school, or whatever it might be. This is why they had to kind of cut this off, because they're overwhelmed. And by cut this off, this could mean that they were the ones who ended this connection or stepped away from this connection, but it could also mean that they have to cut off any thoughts of you because it becomes too overwhelming for them, and they don't feel like they can do their best at the other things they have going on in their life. They don't feel like they can give their all because it's just like too much. There's something here too, like that reads as they feel like something wasn't fair in this connection. So maybe they feel like they were wrongly judged or they were wrongly accused of something. It could be that they might have felt like either you weren't putting in enough to this relationship or like they weren't. It almost doesn't matter in this case. I feel like even if this was a mistake that this person made, it still is coming through to them as something that's so stressful that they can't deal with it. Even if it's that they can look at the scenario and they can think, I didn't put in the work, I didn't communicate, I didn't do what I was supposed to. They still feel so stressed and overwhelmed by that reality that they just want to like just step away. This is it's actually really interesting because I'm wondering, like, were they at fault here because they feel like more fairness needed to be brought in? Whether that was a mistake on their end or not, they just feel like it wasn't fair. I think what it might be is that they feel like neither one of you were getting what you wanted or what you deserved out of this connection, and that's what wasn't so fair about it. I think what this person wants most of all is to feel like they're in control of themselves, and this connection made them feel like that wasn't the case. It made them feel out of control. They felt like they couldn't control the outcome. They felt like they couldn't keep their emotions in check, and that made them really uncomfortable. So I see them making the decision to take whatever amount of energy they were funneling into this connection, as little as it might have been in some cases. It's like they're going to take that energy and now they're funneling it into themselves. With this Emperor energy, they're trying to put their focus in other areas, and probably in areas that they feel like they might be able to better themselves, or where they feel like they're more in control. Like if this person is really great at work, they're just going to focus at just doing the best they can at work, because at work it's clear. At work they can understand what's going on. They can receive praise. They can, maybe if they're in a leadership position, they can just sort of bask in that. I feel like this is somebody who does not want to come out of their comfort zone, because I think they're comfortable in that place of calling the shots. They're comfortable in that place of dictating how things will go. And when they can't do that, they'll kind of redirect. They'll put their attention in places where that can be true, because they're not comfortable in any other scenario. There's actually a really selfish energy coming from this person. I'm not going to lie about that. They have a selfish side to them. I think we all do to a certain extent. And sometimes we have to be selfish because we have to protect ourselves, and we have to provide for ourselves. We have to make sure we're okay. But it feels like when when this person gets in a scenario where it's like things around them are going crazy, things around them are in flux, they're confusing, this person goes heavily into self-preservation mode, and that's where they're at right now. They are in full-blown self-preservation mode, and what that means is that they are trying really hard not to think about you. In some cases, that might mean that they have successfully pushed you out of their mind. In other cases, I don't think so. I think that no matter what, like even if they have successfully pushed you out of their mind, I feel like a lot of the actions that they're taking in their life is due to the fact that they're trying not to think about you. So in a roundabout way, I would say they are still thinking about you because they're letting their thoughts of you or this scenario dictate what choices they're making. But in their mind, they're not. In their mind, they are in full control of the situation, and they are like focused on other stuff and not thinking about you at all. But I feel like that's not completely true. I feel like there's a little bit of a twist to that. There's something about this connection is dictating the choices that they're making. This could be a healthy thing for them to do in some cases, and in other cases, this is just them bearing their feelings instead of dealing with them. So I really am seeing with this Muse of Materials, this is King of Materials energy, they are focused on work. They're focused on whatever responsibilities they have right now. Maybe they have a family to take care of. They might have children or parents that they care for or something like that. I do get a parental kind of energy from the King of Pentacles, so they might have children. But when you pop into this person's mind, they do their best to just shove that thought aside and to make themselves busy with something else, and almost a feeling of like to make something of themselves. They want to work. They want to get something accomplished and not think about this. What I'm seeing is that I feel like this is going to catch up with this person with the Judgment and the Four of Voices. This is going to catch up with them, and they're going to have to take time to reflect. If they haven't already come into this energy of taking time to reflect, they're going to have to, because eventually this does kind of like chase us down and force us to stare it in the face. So I feel like as much as they're trying to distract themselves, there will come a time when this person has to take a step back and hold themselves accountable for some things. And that could be hold themselves accountable for trying to suppress emotions that are there and that need to be expressed, that need to be communicated, that need to be dealt with. Yeah, I feel like there's unfinished business here in this connection, and you may know it. I feel like they may not know it. That's kind of the vibe I get. Like deep down they know, but there's a part of them that's in a deep denial when it comes to what they still need to deal with. And I do think that's going to catch up to them. Let's look at some oracle cards and see what else. They've already kind of thrown me for a loop here because it's odd. Like, it's really odd energy, but I think it's all because they're just trying to not deal with it. They just don't want to deal with it. So we have change, and we have another card flip. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Empower. Yeah. This is why they don't want to think about you. This is why they don't want to think about you. This is so funny because I was only going to take one card and two cards flipped, and usually when that happens it's like, oh, I totally get it. They don't want to think about you because of this feeling. They want to be the emperor. They want to be in control. They want a change in power, basically. They want to rearrange the power structure in this relationship because they felt like they gave too much of their power away to you. They want to get back to the emperor. They want to be the one calling the shots. They want their power back. So they're trying to take their power back. And the reason this is coming up, I mean, this is what we asked. This is the question we asked. But yeah, it's interesting energy, because what we asked was, are they thinking about you? And it's like, I'm getting this vibe of like they try not to, which isn't really a clear do they or do they not kind of answer. But I think what's happening is they really, really don't want to. They really don't want to, because they feel out of control when they do it. They want to get that power back. They want to be in control so badly. I feel like in a lot of ways you might kind of drive this person crazy, because they end up playing a role they're not comfortable with, and I think that's just because they're not that comfortable with emotion a lot of the time. Let's look at some of these Moonology cards. Let's see what shows up for you. Whoa, okay. We have the balsamic moon, a time for healing. Yeah. Right next to that Four of Swords. That's a good place for that card to go. Let me pull an oracle card from this last deck. I just feel like this person is in some form of denial, and like it's gonna catch up with them. They have to heal this. They have to deal with this. Whoa, okay. I dropped a whole bunch of cards on the floor. Hold on 1 second. Let's just get one, please. Okay, we have number 45, time to go. Yeah, let's move these down. So we have time for healing and time to go. Time may be some factor in this relationship, bad timing or something like that. They felt like it was time for them to step away, even to distance themselves from you, in terms of thoughts, even like to that level. It feels almost like too much of a risk to even send energy in the form of thought in your direction. So yeah, there's denial here, or they're trapped by some kind of circumstances that they can't control, and this is their way of feeling like they still have a little bit of control left. Because that's not really healing, to just try to push everything away or down, or it's a cover-up operation. And these fears are definitely eventually going to resurface, and that's sort of what I was seeing with this Four of Voices. There will be a time to slow down, to rest, and to reflect on what's going on. But I feel like they're not making time for that right now. They haven't done that yet. But there needs to be real healing here, and that's not what they've been doing. They're hiding. They're not healing. That's what I'll say about that. So let's look and see if this person is opening up to anyone else in their life about this connection. Are they sharing anything about how they feel? Seems highly unlikely. That Ace of Emotion in reverse. Are they? Let's see. We have the World. And let's pull another. Do they open up and share their thoughts and feelings about this with anyone in their life? Oh, 2 cards. Okay, we'll take both. We have the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Chalices, the Knight of Cups in the reverse. So 2 knights. No. This person is not sharing anything with anyone. I feel like this is just not how they are. They want to speed things along and just kind of keep it moving. to get on with a new phase with this World card. It's like they want to just be on to the next thing. They want to move on to the next phase in their life without having to come forward about these feelings. They have bottled up these emotions, and they've bottled up even their more passionate feelings. We have the chalices and the wands. So we have cups and wands here. Passionate feelings, emotional feelings, and both of these knights are in reverse. So this is like, this is not them coming forward with any of this information. So if you haven't heard from this person, it's not, there's no surprise here, because they're not even talking to anybody about how they feel about this right now. So yeah, I do think that there will come a time for this person to reflect, and at that point you might even see some movement in this connection if you're open to it. But they have to do that reflection first, because as it stands right now, they want the power, they want to be in control, and they can't always be in control, especially of their emotions, because we are not always in control of our emotions. When we feel a certain way, we feel that way, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. And I think this is somebody that when those emotions come up, instead of giving into it, instead of going, okay, I feel this way and I feel like this for a reason, I have to act on this, they have chosen to run. They choose to run from it. So what I like about this, if you are interested in this person, like being okay, because maybe you're not feeling like you really care that much right now, which, you know, it could be understandable depending on what happened in this connection. But what I like about this is the awakening card, the Judgment, and the Four of Voices, I think is going to be this person's ally eventually. And the fact that it even showed up here might mean that that's happening sooner than you think. And this is a time for them to self-reflect. This is a time for them to hold themselves accountable, to meditate on what has happened, to think, and to see things, to emerge from that, seeing things the way that they really are, the truth of the matter. But I feel almost like we caught this person at a time when they haven't really like started this process. They are still heavily in the process of trying to cover up the feelings that they have. And they're just throwing themselves into work or into other tasks, responsibilities, maybe throwing themselves into their role as a parent just to cover this up. But is there love here? Are there emotions here? Absolutely, or this Ace of Emotions wouldn't have come out right in the center of your initial spread. So yeah, there's absolutely emotion there. That's the problem in this person's eyes. That's the problem. That's what makes them feel like they can't control what's happening. So yeah, interesting, you guys. Interesting reading. Yeah. If you can kind of relate to what's going on here, or like you could fill in some of these gaps, definitely leave me a comment down below and let me know about that. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you feel like it, so that you'll be notified when I post again and you can come and hang out with me again. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna just leave it there. I will see you hopefully again in another reading really soon. Bye.